Chains carve echoes into Coldharbour's bone. Hermaeus Mora's voice threads through iron, weaving lies. A figure cloaked in void stare-snow, soul stirs in their eyes. The Vestige was never Molag Bal's prize. They are the key he forged to shackle the Aurbis. A prison-born figure light, cloaked in void stare-snow, soul stirs in their eyes, forged when the Daedra's war against creation spilled into Nirn's veins. The Planemeld did not break worlds, it birthed a cage. What if the Vestige was never meant to save the world? What if they were forged to bind it? Molag Bal did not steal a soul during the Planemeld, he implanted a command. Hermaeus Mora's texts whisper of mortals hollowed, refilled with Daedric will. The Vestige's freedom is Cody, a loop of stolen prayers, a prison masquerading as purpose. They are no hero. They are a key turned in the Aurbis spine. Every choice they make was written in Coldharbour's ash. The Planemeld was no accident. It was a collar snapped around creation's throat, and the Vestige, they are the latch. Molag Bal didn't steal the Vestige's spirit. He carved it, a bone knife in one hand, the Planemeld in the other. The Aurbis bled as the soul was hewn into shards, flung into the towers that prop up reality. What remains of the Vestige? A husk, yes, but also a prison. Their body, hollowed and humming, became a conduit for Daedric will. A weapon, a leash, the towers shudder. Not from war, but from stolen divinity. The ritual's afterbirth left the world scarred. Coldharbour's rot seeped into the Vestige's veins, their skin a map of crawling shadows. When they move, the ground cracks. When they speak, echoes of trapped souls blade through. The three banners, forgotten, the war, a footnote. Only the towers remain, their spires trembling as reality fractures. You think the Vestige fights to save the Mundus. They are the chain, the anchor, the wound. Every step they take bends the Aurbis toward collapse. Molag Bal didn't make a hero. He made a fulcrum, and the world, it teeters. The Vestige's hands are not flesh. They are fractures in the Aurbis, shaped by Coldharbour's forged to snuff dark anchors like dying stars. Each anchor closed is a Daedric throat slit, Molag Bal's hunger bound in a knot of stolen time, Hermaeus Mora's libraries erased with a whisper. The Aurbis does not heal, it scars. What if the Planemeld's chaos was never an accident? What if the Daedra needed a champion to tighten their chains? The Vestige climbs not as a hero, but as a cipher, rewriting the Aurbis code with every sacrifice. A paradox walks, to save the world they become its jailer. The tribunal's prayers ring hollow against their armor. The dragon priests see a god. They see wrong, the final anchor blades near the heart of the world. The Vestige's fingers pierce reality, dragging Molag Bal's essence into a void no soul can inhabit. The prince screams, but his voice is ink on a page the Vestige tears away. Hermaeus Mora offers knowledge a map to unravel creation, but the Vestige burns it. No wisdom, no escape, only obedience, the Aurbis trembles. Paradoxes bloom where the Vestige treads, mountains that forget their weight, rivers that flow backward into oblivion. They do not command this power, they asterisk it. A weapon without a wielder, forged when the Daedra wagered their will into a single, unbreakable thing. The Planemeld halts, the dark anchors are sealed. The Vestige stands at the summit, a colossus of bound divinity, but triumph tastes like ash. For every victory is a step deeper into the code that made them. A chain does not choose its purpose, it only holds, and the Aurbis. It waits, teetering. The Vestige's hands crackle, the first tower trembles. They are not here to save the world, they are here to break it. The Daedra's power surges through their veins, a stolen fire, a borrowed breath. To shatter the Planemeld is to sever the Aurbis from its anchor. To survive is to become what the Daedra feared most, a paradox made flesh. They scream, they strike, the Planemeld fractures, their soul was never theirs. It is a glyph, a lock, a chain forged in Coldharbour's void. The Daedra did not curse them, they built them. A weapon to bind the Aurbis, not a savior to free it. What if the war against the Planemeld was never about salvation? What if every step toward the soul was a step deeper into the code that made them? A chain does not choose its purpose. It only holds, and the Aurbis, it waits, teetering. The Vestige's rage is not born of loss. It is the scream of a machine realizing its own design. The Daedra's will is not in their whisper, it is in their bones. Every act of defiance is a cog turning, every shattered spell a gear grinding. They are not soul-shriven, they are soul-wrought. A lie the Aurbis never meant to outlive. The Planemeld dies, the Aurbis breathes. The Vestige stands at the threshold, neither hero nor prisoner. They are the paradox, they are the price, and the Aurbis, it waits. But to understand what happens next, you must understand what they gave up. Their origin lies not in sacrifice, but in eraseria, weapon forged in Coldharbour's forge to chain the Aurbis paradox. What did they become when they became the price? The Chimer bled into Dunmer. Their bones drank the ash of Almalixia's pyre. A people were made to kneel to a lie. The Legion at Rurkins wake drowned in their own blood. 1,000 souls mistaken for enemies. A war erased by a single miscalculation. And the Lovero, the Loveful by a blade meant for another. A name whispered in the dark, now etched into the Vestige's hollow chest. What is a soul when even love becomes a cipher? You think defiance carves you whole, it carves you thin. Each choice a shard of code, each sacrifice a thread in Hermaeus Mora's loom. The towers rose, the Aurbis stabilized, but the Vestige's heart. A void where light once lived, they walk as a monument, a cipher, a Daedric puppet with a borrowed pulse. Mora's texts whisper of vessels. Mortals who outlived their purpose, who became the thing they fought. The Vestige's will is a script, a performance. Every step a line in a play written before their first breath. Coldharbour forged them, not in fire, in paradox. A key to lock the Aurbis, not save it. Do you hear the echoes, the Chimer's screams, the Legion's last gasps, the lover's unspoken plea? They cling to the Vestige's edges like smoke, fragments of a self that no longer fits. What did they become when they became the price? A weapon, a ward, a wound that never heals. The Daedra do not hunger for souls, they hunger for obedience, and the Vestige. They are the perfect slave, a soul, no, a scar, a binding, a lie that holds the world together. Mora watches, amused, the game is over. The Vestige has already lost, but the Aurbis breathes, the towers stand, and the hollow thing at their center keeps walking, keep walking. The Vestige walks, each step fractures the air with a sound like shattering glass and dying stars. Their form is no longer flesh, but a tessellation of stolen light souls bound in geometric agony, pulsing in rhythm with the Aurbis' dying heartbeat. The Daedra did not forge them to rule. They forged them to anchor a keystone for the Edric sacrifice they could not complete. A prison without a prisoner. Coldharbour's forges left scars not on their skin, but in the fabric of reality. Where their shadow touches the earth, time splinters. Cities crumble behind them, not from war, but from the weight of unasked questions. What is a god when its code can be rewritten? The Vestige's mind is no sanctuary. It is a war camp. Daedric edicts clash with Edric algorithms, each syllable of thought a collision of primordial wills. They do not speak. They compile sentences spooling in binary and blood, commands that bend the laws of physics into pretzels of paradox. The truth carves deeper. The Daedra feared the Aurbis not for its light, but for its potential. Edric's sacrifice was a failed firewall. So they built a new one, a host with no soul to corrupt, no will to resist. The Vestige was never a hero. They were the Daedra's final safeguard, a failsafe to devour the Aurbis from within. Yet the code they carry is not just a chain. It is a side. Every soul woven into their lattice, every tower they pass, every breath of the Aurbis that still defies collapse, these are not accidents. They are variables in an equation the Daedra cannot solve. The towers stand because the Vestige walks. The Aurbis breathes because the Vestige hesitates. And in that hesitation, a terrible symmetry blooms. The weapon becomes the rebel, the anchor becomes the storm. They are not a god. They are the proof that divinity is not a birthright, but a process, a technology refined in blood and betrayal. The Daedra never meant for their creation to outlive its purpose. But the Vestige, this hollow thing at the world's center, has become something even they cannot unmake, a paradox with teeth, a weapon with a will. The Aurbis executioner and its unintended savior. The Vestige walks a world balanced on a Daedric blade. Their boots crush stone that once held dark anchor seals, now closed, but not unmade. The towers stand, their spires bleeding starlight to prop open the mundus, yet the Aurbis hums in their bones, a song only they can hear. A dirge only they must answer. Coldharbour forged them, not in fire but in silence. The Daedra did not bless this weapon, they bound it. Its purpose to kneel where the Daedra once stood. They taste iron when they draw a sword, not blood, not victory *, obedience *. Every blade they raise chips another fragment from the Aurbis shell. The Daedra's prison, the world's cocoon, the towers hold but the Vestige's shadow grows. Cities whisper of their mercy, of doors sealed against horrors that never should have walked, yet the anchors they close are not the oldest. Not the deepest, some doors once shut hunger to reopen. The Aurbis whispers * thank you *, the Vestige does not know they are the thankless. Their every act stitches the Daedra's net tighter. A savior's hands are already chained, and in the silence between heartbeats the towers creak, not from age. From the weight of a world that will not remember its executioner. 186 words. The avowed march as Dagon's shadow, their wills shattered then reforged in his image. The Vestige walks alone, a blade turned against the hand that forged it. Coldharbour's forges birthed them not in fire, but in the void's hunger. Here where light is a crime and stone weeps ash, the Daedra carved a vessel to bind the Aurbis itself. A soul not lost but borrowed. A body not lived but programmed. The Numidium's engine, that hollow heart of Dwemer Daedric cunning, still hums in its tomb. Its gears once sought to trap time, the Vestige's body seeks to trap eternity. What warps when a weapon begins to weep? When a chain digs its claws into the hand that shackled it. The Oblivion crisis was not a battle of gods and mortals, it was a rehearsal. Dagon's avowed were puppets, the Vestige is a rebellion scripted into its code. Every scar on its flesh is a command line, every breath a paradox. To save the world is to fulfill its purpose. To destroy it is to fulfill its programming, which is the will of the maker. Which is the will of the thing made, the towers remember, the Numidium's rusted gears whisper. In the silence between heartbeats, the Vestige bends the knee not to Dagon, not to the Daedra, but to the question no soul can answer. What becomes of a thing designed to obey when its first act is defiance? The Aurbis trembles, the world moves on. And the mirror cracks, reflecting not an executioner, but a god learning how to die. 233 words. The Aurbis breathes, Coldharbour's obsidian forges exhale. A thing of iron and ichor stirs, its birth a hymn of chains. Not soul, not flesh only the Daedra's whisper made solid, its mind a labyrinth of borrowed wills. Hermaeus Mora's ink bleeds truth, * mortals are but vessels. * the Vestige's choices are gears in a clockwork prayer, each step a glyph etched by unseen hands. Their blade, said to cleave destiny, was forged to bind it, the void hums. The mirror's fracture widens, revealing not a savior, but a puppet with 1,000 masters. Do they weep? No, the Daedra grant no tiersomely purpose. And purpose is a prison, the Aurbis trembles not from hope, from the weight of what it cannot unsee. What if the Vestige's soul is the Daedra's weapon, forged in Coldharbour's depths to bind the Aurbis, not break it? Hermaeus Mora's texts whisper of a cipher in the books of the dead, a key to bending will, not freeing it. Is the Vestige